Hello everyone, this is Dr. Juiinigudkar and I'm a first year radiology resident in Mumbai. I have been making videos for NEET PG ever since my result came out last year. The funniest thing happened last time was I uploaded a video wishing everyone all the best for the upcoming NEET exam the next day. And right 5 to 10 minutes after I uploaded the video, the exam got postponed. Understandably, everybody was frustrated with this uncertainty, like people reached their exam centers and then the exam got postponed. And us as first year residents were even more frustrated. But now we have a final date for the exam, 11th August. I'm really hoping that this is not going to get pushed forward any longer because there is no legit reason for it to get pushed forward. Like there's no COVID, there's no pandemic going on, it's just mismanagement. I hope none of those things are going to happen this time and we can get done with the exam. I can get juniors and become a senior pretty soon. I wanted to share a few tips and advice for these last few days before the exam, and I'm not going to bore you all with long monotonous monologues because I have few crisp clear points which I've written down here. I'm just going to share those with you and hoping that this video can be just a good boost for you to get on track, get online and spend the next 4 weeks studying to the best of your capabilities. I'm sure everyone has taken a break, short break or a long break, whatever it may be, but you have taken a break after the exam got postponed. Some of you must have gone on trips, some of you must have spent time with your family and your friends, you must have gone back to your UG college to meet people, to finish off your internship if you were left with it. So we've done all that, we've gotten a break, we had a short pause from all that studying, so chances are you will not feel so burnt out, hopefully, when you start studying again soon. The issue is that starting studying again, getting the hang of it again from scratch is going to be a little tough. You might not be able to start studying for 12 hours right away. So that's why we are going to split the next 28 days. Like today is 13th of July. I'm making this video. Hopefully I'll be able to do some simple editing and upload it quickly. But so next 28 days, that is the next 4 weeks, how we are going to divide them. So my basic funda remains the same. Last 3 days before the exam, that is 11th August for exam, so there's 8th, 9th and 10th. These 3 days are your buffer days. What does that mean? Basically anything that you feel like you forgot to do, anything that you're underconfident in, and your mistakes, the GT mistakes which you've been making, these 3 things are to be covered in these 3 days. So the last 3 days you are going to get out your GT mistake review notebook. If you have made one, I hope you have. If you've not made one, that's fine. You can go through your previously solved GTs and check what your mistakes were, like what questions you got wrong and which ones you guessed correctly but you did not know the answer, you guessed it. So you have to know the logic behind that. You have to know the logic behind the mistakes which you're making, whether it's a silly mistake, whether it's a conceptual mistake, or it's a factual or a memory based mistake. If it's a silly mistake you're making, you have to be hard on yourself. These mistakes are not affordable in the final exam. Silly mistakes are made when you're not in the right headspace during the exam. You're thinking about something else, your mind is floating, you are reading the question in front of you and you are trying to actively remember everything about that topic that you have ever read, but you're not focusing on what the question is asking you. Like you'll read the entire question, you'll form an answer in your mind, you'll forget to read the last line which says which of the following except blah 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 blah. So that except word or not or just anything that can change the answer entirely. Paper setters like to do this a lot. They like to throw these googlies at you all the time. So you have to be in the clear headspace. You have to have a clean blank mind when giving the exam, and you cannot just haphazardly solve questions without looking at what they are asking you. So think about it this way, that they're not trying to test your knowledge, they're trying to test your presence of mind and your ability to give a test well. So instead of just frantically trying to remember everything about the topic, look at the question in front of you. Look at what it is asking you. Sometimes you might not know the topic, but you look at the question and you can understand that only one option is going to be right for this kind of a question. So silly mistakes, you be hard on yourself. You are not going to make these mistakes in the last exam. Figure out why you made the silly mistake and figure out how you are going to avoid it during NEET PG. Second is conceptual mistakes, the most important mistakes which you're making. That means there is some place in your knowledge which is lacking. There's something that you have not understood well, or you have misunderstood it, and that's why every MCQ that will ever come on this topic, you might have a chance of getting it wrong. So every conceptual mistake that you're making, put it at the top of your list of things to correct on those 3 days before the exam. Any conceptual mistake, go through the MCQ explanation clearly, go through that topic in your notes clearly, figure out why you're making that mistake, make sure your concept is cleared after that one MCQ on that one topic, so that any further MCQs on that same topic, you are not going to get those wrong. The last is factual mistakes, that is mistake that you made because you could not remember something really well, because it has been a long time since you revised that. That thing is going to get solved by a rapid revision which you will do before the exam. Obviously, it goes without saying that there will be some topics which you will never end up reading. There will be some things that the examiners will ask which will not have been in your syllabus, or it will not have been in your particular notes, but that's going to be the same scenario for everybody. Everyone is using some different content, some different source. All of them have almost the similar content in different languages, so it is highly possible that all of you don't know certain things. So factual mistakes, memory based mistakes, many people are going to make in the exam, so your rank is not going to be affected by it a lot. So we have covered the 3 mistakes which you make in GTs and how you are going to review these 3 days before the exam during those buffer days. So 8th, 9th, 10th August are your buffer days where you will review GT mistakes. Another thing which you will do is you will go through factual stuff like FMT, IPCs, biochemistry equations, pharmacology, like lists if you've made like certain drugs and their adverse reactions, blah blah blah, like those short lists which we make for each subject. Anything that you find very hard to remember, you go through that in these last 3 days. Right now start making a list of things that you find hard to remember this way, so that last 3 days you're not left frantically thinking about what do I need to revise, what factual things do I need to remember. Start making a list right now, and you will go through this list later during the last 3 days. Make a list, put it away. We will worry about it 3 days before the exam. Before those 3 days come 15 days of rapid revision. As usual, I always push for rapid revision, and I always push that you do it in 15 days. 15 days for 19 subjects, where many of the subjects are also short subjects. Short subjects can be rapidly revised, 2 subjects in 1 day, or you can revise 1 short subject with another long subject. So that's why I feel like 15 days is a good time to give for rapid revision. And what does rapid revision look like? The way I used to do it was structured in such a way it will give you the peace of mind that you have revised everything that is important from this subject few days before the exam. So for example, this is what my rapid revision used to look like. Is to wake up in the morning, spend the first 3 to 4 hours solving PYQs. Solve it. Even if you're right, even if you're wrong, you go through the explanation entirely, which is given in the MCQ app itself. Then you go to your notes, your main revision notes, the longer ones, and you read all those PYQ topics from your main note. And in the night, few hours of the day which you can spend studying, then you read other topics from that subject which were not covered in PYQs. If I'm reading one PYQ topic, I'll read one topic ahead of it, one topic behind it. That way you try and cover most of your notes. You have made a concise version of notes for revision. You can go through those extra topics from these concise notes. Comes to solving these PYQs, I would also like to share one app, that is the Reflex app. The creators reached out to tell you guys that they have a longer version of subscription, like a 1 year long or a 6 month long subscription. You can solve PYQs and you can help your revision become more PYQ based. User interface might not honestly be the best, but the content is good. I have seen it. PYQs are just the way they are from the previous years of examinations, whether it's NEET PG, INI-CET, and their explanation is crisp, it's clear. So if you're struggling to find a source from where to solve PYQs, for a 1 year junior batch, you are watching this video for next year's NEET PG, or you're still going to give INI-CET in November, you can start solving things from it right from this moment, so that you can get good practice for solving questions the way they are in the exam itself. They have dropped down their prices quite a bit, so it's really affordable. If you guys want to check it out, I'll share a link down in the description below. Our aim during this revision is not just to understand well, but to remember things well. And memory is largely based on things that you see. So if you have seen the same pages, the same lines, the same handwriting, the same highlighting over and over again, high chances that you need to see the same stuff before the exam to ingrain it in your short-term memory. Basically, when you're reading notes, you have to make sure they come largely from something that you have used in the last year. It will help to avoid mistakes which you're making due to lack of revision or due to lack of short-term memory, factual errors which you're making. Now let's come to the 10 days before all this, before you start your rapid revision. Basically the period which you are in right now, when you have taken a break, you're just about to start studying again to get back into the groove of studying. So I think that these 10 days will be best utilized if you give GTs for one last time. Like, I think you should give 2 to 3 GTs in these few days, because break which you have had since the postponement, I think there are high chances that may have lost your sharpness when it comes to being able to solve GTs. So 2 to 3 GTs should be solved in the next 10 days. So spend these next 10 days giving 2 to 3 GTs, and rest of the days apart from the GTs, spend these days revising any 1 or 2 subjects which you could not revise due to lack of time. So in the next 10 days, revise the subjects which you could not revise before, give 2 to 3 GTs at least, and review those GTs. So these next 10 days are sorted. So I think we have covered all the 4 weeks, all the 28 days which are left before the exam. That is 10 days of revision, 15 days of rapid revision, and last 3 days for buffer, for mistake reviewing, and for miscellaneous revision. This is quite literally what I had followed before my exam. So this is the only strategy or the only way I know how to study before the exam. I think I have shared everything I wanted to share. I don't want to make this video extremely long and boring, because I want to make it crisp and clear for you so you can get done with watching this quickly and get back to what you're doing. Few motivating points which I will share now. I know it has been extremely frustrating dealing with the exam this year. We did not have all this uncertainty surrounding the exam. You guys are going through a prolonged period of torture where the exam just keeps going further, and you don't know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, because some of you just want to get done with it, break free out of this period of stressful studying, and that is understandable. So no matter how frustrated you have been, no matter how much you have wanted to just give up on this exam because of how incredibly irritating it has been to study for it, just spend these next 4 weeks not thinking about any of that frustration. Just think that this exam will happen on this date. I will give my best, and this is how I'm going to give my best. I'm telling you, we have to stay positive. None of this is going to happen now. Exam will happen on this date. You are going to kill it. You're going to revise really well. You had a good break after the postponement. Now you are back in the game. You are going to ace it. You're going to work your ass off, and you're going to get the result which you deserve. I'm saying all this because I really hope the exam happens too, because I don't want to be a first year forever. So yeah, I'm not going to bore you with long talks. I hope you watched this video well. I hope you have understood what needs to be done and when it needs to be done. Plan well, execute it well, and get the result which you deserve. I wish you guys all the very best for the exam. Maybe I'll try and do few study with me live streams on like 1 or 2 Sundays before the exam. I have a really hectic work schedule going on right now, so that might or might not be possible. Even this video, I hope I can edit and get it out as quickly as possible. So yeah, I'll see you guys maybe in a few days, or maybe a few days before the exam. All the very best, work hard, and see you guys in the next one.